Welcome back, everybody. This is Barber Dev G, and today we're going to be performing the kids fade. I already put in my guideline with my red pros all the way closed with no guard. So now I put on my half a guard all the way closed with my lever all the way closed. I'm going to go up about a half an inch or an inch above that first guideline that I made with no guard. I'm going to pretty much go around the round of the head with my half a guard lever all the way closed. Next, I'm going to go with my 1.5 guard with my lever all the way open. I'm just going to try to feather it out as well as get into the bulk in the top of my fade. Lighten it up a little bit so my transition can be smooth with my fade. And all I'm doing is just working the corner of my blades, lightly feathering out that line in the scooping motion. I'm not applying a lot of pressure, soft touch, just scooping it out, lightening up that line and getting some of that bulk out the top of my fade. I'll start to work my way around the round of the head, doing the same thing all around the head. As you can see, I just closed my lever. I'm gonna go a little bit below where I was fading and just try to lighten up that line. Still transition into the hair on the top of my fade. I want everything to blend in smoothly. I like to keep a wire brush in my hand, to brush the side of my client's head to remove that hair that's already been cut. All right, so now as you can see, I put my half guard back on and I have my lever all the way open. I'm just blending into the fade that I just lightened up that line with that 1.5 guard. The half guard all the way open should pretty much blend all the way up into there. Just gonna work my way around the round of the head. Pretty much just going, finding dark spots and working the corner of my clipper blades. Just hitting those dark spots. I'm not trying to create more lines in my fade. I'm just trying to make everything transition smoothly. And I'm pretty much just working my lever down. I started off with my lever all the way open and I'm closing it gradually as I hit those dark areas and work my way down. And if I see other dark areas that's a little higher, I'll just adjust my lever accordingly. You gotta be able to see those dark areas. Even if you have to step back from the client sometime and give your eyes a little break from staring at your face so much, Sometimes you can get lost in the transition. You just gotta look at it from a different angle, look at it through the mirror. I took my half guard off, and my first guideline that I made in the beginning of the video that you didn't get a chance to catch because I had started the video a little late. I'm pretty much knocking that bottom guideline out that I made in the beginning. I have my lever all the way closed, and I'm just gonna work my way up until my lever is all the way open, transitioning into where I had made that second guideline with my half guard all the way closed. So no guard, transitioning it up until where I had my half guard. Just opening and closing that lever, looking for those dark areas, and just making this fade transition in properly. The hair in the back of the nape, I'm gonna knock that off at the end of my tutorial here. I haven't pulled out my trimmers yet, so when I do pull out my trimmers, I'm gonna use those to ball fade the bottom of my client's haircut. Just keep working those dark areas, making everything transition smoothly. Look like I'm going higher and higher, but when my lever is all the way open, it pretty much stretches that blend. Hitting those little dark areas to make sure everything looks uniform. I grabbed my 2 guard and I just took off some of that bulk that I felt should have been there. Sometimes I do this with shear over comb, with my thinning shears. I don't know, some reason I felt like just getting that 2 guard and knocking down that bulk, transitioning that blend a little better just with that two guard and my clippers. If I want to redefine in the top of my fade, I could always do that at the end with my shear over comb or my clippers over comb, or however I decide to attack that. You see, I'm still just feathering out that line. Took some of that bulk out the top. Normally, I would deal with the bulk at the beginning of my haircut. I would knock that bulk down first, put that 2 guard on, knock everything down. But for some reason, I like to jump around on my haircut sometimes. All right, so now I'm pretty much gonna do the same thing I did on the side. Just work that back into my fade. So I put my 1.5 guard on, opened it, lever all the way open, and start to fade until the bulk that's in the top of my haircut. I close my lever and just working everything out, because I seen on the right side it looked like my fade was kind of going up a little higher than I wanted it to. So that's pretty much why I jumped in the back, to make sure everything's level and equal. I don't want my fade to look like it's leaning to one side. I want everything symmetrical. From my 1.5, I took it off and I just put my half guard on, opened it all the way up. And now I'm starting to fade the half guard into that 1.5 area. And I'm just gonna close my guard as I fade down gradually. And I'm gonna make my left side match up with my right side by working the back of my fade. So I'm just gradually closing my lever, fading down. I'm just working from left to right and making sure everything's symmetrical. I'm just keep working the corner of my clippers. All right, I'm gonna jump over to this razor. As you can see, I already gave my client his edge with the trimmers. I'm just redefining that edge and cleaning up all that extra hair that's outside of my canvas along the perimeter. Always remember, pull your skin taut. Whenever you put that razor on a client, you want that skin to be tight. Watch my guide hand. You see how I'm using my thumb to pull that skin tight so I can work that razor along my client's edge. Do the same thing around the C cup. Pull that skin tight and work that razor around that C cup. Continue on the other side and repeat the same thing. Clean that hair off of the forehead outside of the perimeter of my canvas. And come back and redefine it. Okay, I'm gonna take my trimmers and clean up the back of my client's neck. That hair that was at the bottom before, I cleaned it up with my trimmers. And I'm gonna go ahead and ball out the bottom of the fade on my client. Some people like to use foil shavers to do the balling out at the bottom of the fade. I don't use foil shavers to ball out the bottom of my fade because some clients' skin is more sensitive to other clients' skin. As you can see, my client is satisfied with his look. He He was a great client today. And that concludes the end of my haircut tutorial. Kids fade. Like, share, subscribe.